Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you so very much for joining me today with Manifest Your Mate. This is my uh, first of a few calls about Manifest Your Mate. So, for those who don't know me, I'm Janelle Otto, and I have been divorced since 2019. And during that time, I have realized I've manifested a couple of men in my life. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize we had this power. And since 2020, I have gone on this exploration of what is manifestation and how does it work? And so I have decided to help others learn about this because this is a gift that we all have. Um, and I've made mistakes with those two men because they're not in my life. And now that I realize what to do, I can share my mistakes so you don't have the same mistakes. I'm just going to talk about three different areas. There's a lot of different ways to go with this. So I'm going to go kind of generic with these calls, and I'm just going to talk about things that you can do to make things happen and to start calling in that special someone. So I'm going to start with getting clear. So when you decide you want to have that special someone, get very clear on what you want. So, for example, for me, my husband and I were separated at the time, and I was laying in bed one night and I just was crying and I said, "My next guy." And I started saying all of these things, right? And I rattled off all different kinds of things. And I said, "I don't know what he's going to look like, but he is going to." I said a lot of different things. And my husband and I got back together. We moved, and then ended up divorcing. And I met this man as my husband and I are separating. I met this man, and I didn't realize it at the time. It was over the course of our relationship. We didn't get together right away. I was like, I'm not going to get into a relationship, but we both were going through a divorce, and we really had a deep connection. I really admired so many things about him, and I come to realize during our courtship and even afterwards, I was like, oh my gosh, he even had this. Everything I had said while I was laying there crying, he had every single thing. That being said, get clear on what it is you want from this person. Is it a man? Is it a woman? What kind of um, job do they have? Is what kind of hobbies do they have? What kind of life do you want to create with them? My list actually has things that we're going to do together, things that the ways that I'm going to feel being around him. And even what I'm thinking is oh, what is his name? Um I can't think of his name right now. A famous singer. I can see his face. I can't think of his name. But he was asked, what's his, where's his favorite place or his favorite time of day or something. He goes every morning in the having coffee with her, with his wife. Oh gosh, I wish I could remember his name. Um, I put that we are that couple, that our favorite place is to be together. It doesn't matter where we're at. It's that they're my soft place to fall. That's another thing I put. They're my soft place to fall. And I got very, very clear how I'm gonna feel, um, things that he's gonna have. Is he gonna want kids? Does he already have kids? Uh, just has he already been married? Just get very, very clear. So one of the things that I had said this last time, I had a list going, and I said he's a widow is what I put. He is a widow. And what's funny is I have this whole list, right? And in my mind, I kept playing around with like just a section of that list. I kept thinking about these different things, and I thought, okay, I'd love somebody who would help me with my business. And I was thinking about that, and I was thinking, oh, he's going to be a widow and all this stuff. Lo and behold, I had this guy come into my life. He wasn't necessarily a widow, but his wife that he loved dearly, and they ended up divorcing, and they kept going back and forth. You know, they'd get split up and then get back together. Um, she had passed away. And I was like, wow. So, and he helped me with the videos. So just that section, there was about a third of that list that he covered. And so we're not together because there's sections that I needed. So think about even what kind of music do they listen to? Are they into sports? What activities are you going to do? Are they movie people? Are you going to sit around watching movies on weekends, or are they active? Are you going to go out and maybe go skiing or be out on a boat during the weekends? Start looking at all areas and all aspects of your life. Do they want to live in the country or in the city? Where, what state are they in? Do they want to stay there? These are all things to really think about. And when you're going through this, the other thing to really ask yourself and dig deep into is, do I really want to be in a relationship? Because I say this because sometimes we want the idea of being in a relationship, but we don't really want to be in a relationship. We want to keep our freedom. That could even be something in your list. So I put something like, we're both independent, but when we come together, it's just, we make each other's lives so much better. It's something like that because I don't want to lose who I am. I want to be who I am and not lose myself. I don't want them to lose who they are. I want them to be able to grow and step into that person that they need to be, and I can support them and vice versa. That being said, maybe there are people out there who do not want to be in a relationship. Um, I read Shonda Rhimes's book, uh, the year A Year of Yes. Wonderful book. If you haven't read it, highly, highly recommend. And she said that she met the most perfect man. He fit all the boxes, was everything she wanted and could ever want. However, she didn't want to be in a relationship. That was not what she wanted. That was not who she was. And that's not who she is. So she let that relationship go, which was really hard for her to come to terms with. So this is something you really need to talk to yourself about and say and get very clear on if you even want to be in a relationship and what the relationship is going to be like. So that would be number one. And so there's kind of two parts to that. And when you're writing it out, you can write it out. It's very powerful to write it out. I've done some work on myself with the human design, and I've realized my voice is very powerful, and so I can say something and then it will come to fruition as long as I'm fully aligned with it and I let go of the outcome, which I'm not going to get into on this conversation, but I will have videos about that. So go ahead and just get very, very clear on what it is you would like. Write it out. I have it in my notes in my phone, so I can go in and revisit it. You can revisit it once a day. Um, I said when I laid there crying that one time, I said it one time. That was it. Forgot about it. Didn't even think about it and let it go. And he just showed up and I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And then even the other guy, it was one of those things I just kept thinking about periodically. I'm like, boy, I wish I had my guy here so he could help me with my videos and creating them and getting them up and this, that, the other, and some of this tech stuff that I just don't understand. And he showed up kind of unexpected. So Um, I think I personally, this is my personal belief, is I believe we all manifest differently. Some of us can write it out and it'll happen. I write things out. It doesn't quite seem to happen as fast as if I was to say it and think it. So, this may be something you have to play with instinctively. What are you drawn to do? And maybe you draw a picture of what it looks like or what it feels like or what, and it doesn't even have to be an actual picture. It may be something that is just, it to some people it's just obscured and you're like, what is that? But you know what it is to you. It makes you feel a certain way. Or maybe it's a piece of music that you're like, oh, this is how I want to feel around my person, my guy, my woman, my significant other. And one more thing that you can also add in there is, do you have little nicknames for each other? What are they? And you'll know. I mean, I have what I'm like, okay, this is what he's going to call me, and I have what I'm going to call him. And when that happens, I'll know. So like I thought I was going to do this for the this last guy, and I didn't. I was like, his it was in there under his name, instead of his name it was the word. And I was like, no. I just knew instinctively. I knew. Um, so after you get really clear, and keep in mind with this list, it does not have to be a one and done. It can be something that you go back in and revise. You're looking at it and you can tweak it. I've taken things out completely. I've changed things up. Uh, Go in and look at it, get the feeling, what is going on? What does it feel like? What does it look like? And read through it and change it up as you need to. And you may even get somebody who has all those qualities and you go, oh, and you find out that's not exactly what you want. So just because you meet the person doesn't mean he is going to be the one. I say he, it could be she, they are going to be the one. It could be, they could be, but they also could be a lesson into this is what I think I want. However, it's not what I really want. So, um, that's number one is getting clear. Number two is making room. When you want somebody to come into your life, you got to look around your house. Is there space for this person? One of the first things I ever heard was, there was somebody who was wanting to have somebody come into their life, and yet their bed, one half of it was up against the wall. And because of that, it blocks the energy for somebody to come into their life. And so she had to move the bed so that there's space on both sides for the other person to be able to get into bed also. Uh, is there a nightstand on both sides of the bed? And if there is, what's in that other nightstand? And your significant other's nightstand, is it open and empty, ready for them to show up? Or is it full of your stuff? Is there a drawer that's empty for them? Is there space for them to come in and be able to put their clothes? What about your closet? Make sure you leave space in your closet to allow them to hang up their clothes. What about in your bathroom? Look at is there a place for their toothbrush? I've done this a few times where I get a toothbrush out, I have it sitting there, and it sits there, and then it just sits there. And um, and then after a while, I go, yeah, I just got to get rid of it. It's like it starts to clutter up the space. So, uh, and I think for me, part of it, this is something else to kind of think about, is it was just a regular toothbrush that you get from the dentist. I have an electric toothbrush. In my mind, he's going to have an electric toothbrush also. So I think that's where my mind was like, this isn't right. So get rid of the manual one and get out an electric toothbrush for them. Make sure that they have space for their whatever they're going to have, their any kind of personal belongings that on the counter. Are they going to have maybe they have cologne, or um they have just a space for them to have whatever it is that they have. Are they doing their facial products? Do they take care of themselves? If he has a beard, does he have maybe some conditioner to put in his beard? Is it sitting there? uh is there space for him to have his own toothpaste, or anything else? And then even in the shower, is there space for him to have shampoo, or her to have her favorite shampoo, conditioner, um, any space for anything? Where is their stuff going to go? Uh, so when you're sitting down and eating, are you going to sit down at the dining room table, or are you going to sit in front of the TV? Is there a space for them? Do you have a placemat out for them? Do you have, even if there's no food in there on the plate, get out a plate for them. Putting a plate there opens up that energy for them. Something I just realized the other day was I drink tea every morning. Here's my tea, in fact. I drink tea every morning, and I thought, do I have space for them to have a coffee cup or a cup for their tea or whatever it is? Um, and even in my pantry, I realized, is there room for them to have their food in there too? So I'm clearing out space for them in that aspect. What about your car? Is the seat next to you all full of stuff, or is it cleared out? And if you're wanting to have children, look at your back seat. Is your back seat open, or is it full of stuff also? So start clearing out things. And when I say this, and making room, start looking at things that you have from your significant other. So this is going a lot deeper than I was planning on, but this is huge also, is looking at things that you have that may remind you of a significant other. For example, there was somebody's house I was in, and they had a painting that was done with him and a previous relationship. I think it was a previous girlfriend. And I said, if you want to attract that special someone, you need to get rid of it. You need to it needs to be, because it's just drawing in that other energy from this other person, and it does not allow for somebody else to come in. So start looking at all the things that you might have that might be from that significant other, and how you can go ahead and get rid of it. And you may not be able to do it all at once. It may be over time. And even getting rid of their clothes or anything that they may have left that is no longer it's part of them. It's just their stuff. Get rid of it. Donate it. Um, Toss it. And it could be even cards that they have given you. That's something you can, if you have a safe place and you're ready to release them, you have a safe place to have a fire, in a fire pit. You go let it burn. Just let it burn and get rid of it. Um, just look and start looking at all the different areas. The other area, and I'm really bad about this, is the couch. If he's sitting next to you, or if they are sitting next to you on the couch, where are they sitting? That end, is there room for them? I am notorious for putting things on the couch where they would be sitting. And I will have the whole couch has got stuff on there. Some people do that with their bed, and they'll have their laptop, they'll have remotes, they'll have a book they're reading, and they'll have that in their person's spot. That all needs to come out. You need to move that and get rid of it, and allow for space to come in. and allow for them to be able to have a space to come into. So, uh, those are all things to think about. And then even if you're watching TV with them, what are you guys watching together? Start watching that. Start watching those kind of things. Are you going to not turn on the TV until a certain time because you're busy having those conversations? Then don't come in as soon as you walk in the door and turn on the TV. Sit there and just feel like you're having that conversation. And I'm touching on some of the things that I will talk about in other workshops. So for now, this you're hearing some of it, so I can go deeper into these areas, but start really looking into um, where you can open up space for this significant other to come in and be able to come into your home and live with you, even if you're not planning on having them move into that your particular apartment or house or wherever you're living. Maybe you think, oh, well, we're going to live somewhere else. You still have to open that energy in the house that you're in now. So the third thing is, so that was make room. So we've talked about get clear and make room. Number three is take action. So first off, I've told you two things to do. Take action on these two things. That's number one. Make sure you're taking action on those two things. Get started with those. The other thing is when people are talking or when people are trying to manifest that higher power, universe, that gut instinct, whatever you want to, whatever it is you believe in, uh, that's going to come through you and it's going to nudge you and say, hey, do this, go here, do that. And it may seem so strange. You're like, why do I need to do that? I don't understand. And it may be something like go to a restaurant you've never been to, or somebody may invite you out and you're like, I don't feel like going out. Go out anyhow. It's that may be the way you meet your significant other. So if you're nudged to go to a restaurant you've never gone to before, that may open that door of, oh, he's here, or to go to a certain grocery store that you don't normally go to. Let me go check that out. Uh, just so to stop at a library on your way home or something. Just whatever it is, take action. That being said, I said about making room. There have been times where I have woke up and I feel like I'm nesting is what I feel like because I just get in this mood of I'm gonna start going through and cleaning and purging and going through everything. And I do that, and it's like, oh, I feel better. And um it's in the taking action that will help call that person in or call whatever it is that you are trying to call in. Because manifesting just isn't about manifesting a mate, it could be something else also. So make sure you are taking action and moving forward in what it is that you are, uh, what it is you're desiring. I say desiring, like I said, because it could be anything. But when it comes to manifesting your mate, really pay attention to, and it may be something you're not even thinking about at the time. You may have forgotten all about all of this about going, about manifesting a mate. You're not even thinking about that. You're busy at work and somebody goes, hey, you want to go out to lunch today? And you're like, I don't normally go out for lunch. Go out for lunch because you never know what could happen. So make sure you take action no matter what it is. And that that's just going to help it move forward faster, and it helps the universe or higher power know that okay, I'm following they're like breadcrumbs. It's little breadcrumbs. Hey, oh, okay, I'm doing this. I'm doing this. So those are the three that I wanted to talk about today, which is get clear, make room, and take action. I have my little note card here. Are there any questions? Okay. So the first question, I keep attracting the same type of person. How can I manifest differently? Okay, so realize what it is that you are attracting that does not work for you anymore and sit with what you do want. It's really easy for us to say, I don't want this, I don't want that. And when we sit with it and say, what is it that I don't want about this? What is it that I don't like? What do I want differently? Sit with that and start feeling what that would be like. Uh, Something I've been doing, and I've been doing this for a while now, is I look at couples that I know personally that have a very strong relationship, one that you know is going to last the test of time. It's just it will work, and you can just feel it from them. Start looking at what aspects of that relationship that you really are drawn to, and allow yourself to write down what exactly it is. Do they give each other space to go do their own thing? Does he go golfing and you don't like golfing, so you let them go? Um, is it that they go camping together on the weekends? Not all the time, but when they can. Uh, is it that they have built a business together and the business has also made them stronger? So start looking at all those different things. What is it exactly that you admire about that couple that you were not getting from that previous relationship? And allow yourself to dream of something different. Something I keep hearing is we have a lot of women have had a specific idea of a man in their life, and they're like, oh, this is exactly what I would like. And they end up with somebody completely different. So even with the looks, I have a friend, she thought she would be with a dark-haired man. She had it in her head he was going to be a dark-haired man. She is now happily married to a blonde-haired man. She's like, I would have never in a million years guessed it would have been this way. However, she is over the moon happy, and she acts different. She feels, I can feel the different energy from her. She isn't having to walk around on those eggshells like she used to. She stepped into who she is, and she was able to say, this is what I'm worth, and this is what I'm putting out there. And that came to her. So really start to question it. This is also an area where if we got on a one-to-one call, I could help you get very clear on it and start to see what aspects you did not like and what I can do or what you can do to change it. How we can look at it in a little bit different light and change it around. So, next question. I'm tired of dating apps. Is there other ways to find love? Absolutely. Dating apps are not the only way to find that significant other. You could meet just about anywhere. You can meet it really you can meet anywhere. I had a boss and somebody told me you need to ask her about her relationship and how she met. And this was well before I had done any of this about manifesting. She said she'd been divorced for a while, and she said she had a conversation with God and said, if if you have somebody that's meant for me, you're going to have to bring him to my door. And I believe she was in an apartment at the time, and she was out on the balcony, and she was standing up there and she was talking to the maintenance guy. And next to the maintenance guy was this man, and she met him, and lo and behold, she's been happily married with him ever since. So I'm not, obviously they had the courtship and everything, but yeah, she is very, very happy in her marriage. So no, you do not have to. And you can kind of actually say, this is how I would like to meet him. So you can say, I would like to meet him in a restaurant, and maybe a specific restaurant. Maybe you have a favorite restaurant that you like to go to. Um, Maybe you could say, I'd like to meet him. Maybe you're into biking and you join a biking group. I want to meet him within this group or a running group or something like that. Hiking. I've heard of stories where this guy put out that he was going to go hiking one weekend, and he put it out to everybody that he worked with, and only one person showed up, and it was the a female that worked there, and they've been happily married ever since. So, no, dating apps aren't the only way. Listen to your intuition. Um, I personally, for me, I've been on the dating apps, and they do not feel right to me. So I don't, I just don't get on them. I did have a few weeks ago this nudge to get onto Facebook dating, and I got 3 days of being on there so I could kind of take a look at it, which was really neat because it's Facebook, so it's a little bit more. It looks like I wouldn't get catfished as much, but they're more local, and it will tell me, hey, this person is actually a friend of this friend of yours. And so I could, if I was interested in somebody and they were a friend of a friend, I could say, hey, I saw so and so on this dating app. What can you tell me about him or her? So that is another way to look at it, is uh, to really just go with your gut instinct. As part of the taking action of, what do I do? Where do I find these people? And going from there. Okay, next question. What if I'm not sure what I want from a relationship? Okay, that's a very good question. And I get stuck on this too, because I've done it twice and I go, do I really want any of this? Sit with it and really start asking yourself, what does a day in our life look like and feel like? What does it what is it that they are going to bring to my life? How are they going to enhance me? And start asking yourself, what will this relationship do to benefit me? Or is it just something else I'm going to have to do? Sit with those questions, and it may take you a little bit longer to write out the and the getting clear part of writing out what you're looking for. So and now that I'm saying this is actually probably a really good thing to write up, is I can do a PDF of what is it that you like, different areas, do they have certain qualities, certain hobbies, and really sit with it, and don't just give yourself 10 minutes. This may be something that you do a couple times throughout the day, throughout the week, and give yourself maybe even a month to just sit there and start looking at different relationships, and what is it that you really like about those relationships. Maybe you really are maybe you're an avid reader and you want somebody else that's also an avid reader, so that you can discuss books that you're reading with each other. And that being said, what kind of books? Get very clear on that. So, um, maybe even see what areas of your life. This is another thing I do, is I look at what areas in my life that I'm not as strong at, and I would love to have that other part. Because if I'm looking for somebody who's just like me, I'm not going to be happy. I want to find somebody who can fill up those holes of things that I'm not great at. I'm not perfect at everything. That's why when I was looking for a guy there, and I think I still have it um, in my list of things, is he's good at tech, because tech is not my strong suit. Yes, I can do it. I don't enjoy it. And I would rather have somebody else who that is their strong suit, so that I can say, help me with this. Help me do this. So look at those areas that maybe you're not a cook, maybe you don't like to cook and you want somebody who can cook. So look at those different areas. Um, and I'm hoping this is helping you. So, uh, and just keep in mind, this is a trial and error of your list. You figure I've manifested two men with two different lists, one that I didn't even know, as I said earlier. Um, uh, and I had to realize, just because I had them on my list and this they had those aspects, does not mean that they are the one for me. So keep that open mind of, just because you call that person in and they have everything on your list does not mean that they are the perfect one for you. So um just kind of keep that in mind. And this is just, it's a test of what is it that I really want, but that also opens your eyes to what you don't want. And maybe start off with just looking for somebody to go on a few dates with that have these qualities. So maybe it's not even a relationship you put out there. You just say, I want a few dates, like 2 to 3, 2 to 5 dates with a guy that has these qualities. And just sit on that and just think about it and let it come to you. And then you can get a better idea. This isn't what I want. I want something a little bit different. So, next question. What if I'm still hurt by my last relationship? Wow. That's a good question. I so after my ex-boyfriend and I split up, I had zero desire to be in a relationship for a long time. I needed to heal. I knew I needed to heal, not only from that relationship, from my marriage and the divorce, and even things from my childhood. I needed to grow and become the person I am today, and I'm growing into, and learning who I am. That being said, I also had to do a lot of forgiving. Forgiveness is another topic we will talk about in another workshop. Forgiveness is for you. It's not for them. It is, if you are holding on to that hurt, it stays within your body. It doesn't go to them. You are holding on to that. And you need to allow yourself to forgive them. And forgiveness isn't a one and done. You could have forgiven them, and then 6 months later something comes up and you just get those angry feelings again. You get that frustration. So allow yourself the time to heal. I'm not saying that you can't find that special someone when you are hurt, but allow yourself that time to heal and to forgive, and allow yourself that grace, because you don't want to bring that hurt into the relationship. Once again, I'm not saying that you can't find that special someone during that time of hurt. You figure, I got divorced. I actually got separated. I was separating from my husband when I met my ex-boyfriend. And we talked. It wasn't like we got into a relationship right away. We talked for hours and hours and hours and hours before we actually said, yes, let's be in a relationship. It took me a while to say, okay, let's do this. Um, so uh allow yourself that time to heal if you need to, and also be open. Uh like I said, I will talk more about forgiveness in another another, not podcast, another workshop. But forgiveness is definitely an area that you need to really kind of focus on and dive deep into. Uh, okay, I'm going to wrap this up. I hope this was beneficial for everybody. You guys have an amazing day, and I will talk to you later. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. Bye.